Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the live show. I hope everybody had a great weekend. And obviously, the market closed green, and then crypto went popping today with Trump talking about the reserve for crypto and Bitcoin, Solana, Ripple, Cardano, and obviously Ethereum. And they're all rocking and rolling, and everything looks really good right now. So let's go ahead and see what the week's going to come bring us this week because I have a feeling last week was some really good opportunities. I was saying it, and I've been saying these dipto. Yeah, it was a dipto, the dipto and crypto, but yeah, that crypto dip was basically there on purpose, and I said it, and dipto is a pretty good word when it dips, though. For crypto, it's dipto. But anyway, yeah, it definitely dipped on purpose, and I thought it did. I thought that they pulled that bad boy down, and there you go. So let's see how it's going to work out, and I think it's going to get cruising. Maybe it's going to have a little bit of pullback after it just ran up like crazy today, but I think they're getting set up to run, and they did look like they bottomed on that dip. And I think Friday they have the White House is having a crypto summit, so I can only imagine things are getting set up for that. So here we go. Let's rock and roll and see what's going on and what's going to be happening this week. All information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only. It's not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And yeah, I definitely woke up them crypto bots, didn't I? Laptop travel. That rigged, like I said, I don't think the Cupid 6 9 is even working. I've tried it multiple times. You could definitely sell it. So if you have it, just transfer and get your soul back. You can get everything probably that you put into it, I'm sure, because again, I can easily doesn't show you a price, but if you go in there to transfer it, you just hit it and it'll transfer because I never sold anything. But I'm telling you, let's all as a community real quick. Jump into rigged. It still works. I think it's a great name, and it's basically way before it even bonded. It got up there, almost bonded that last time. So it's pretty much a brand new coin right now. It got beaten all the way down, all the bots and everything. And yeah, I was just like messing around. I was like, holy cow, this thing still works. And I said, why don't we, as a community, get in and make it a little cheap thing? Just throw a couple bucks in and we can run it up there and trade it smart and have fun. And yeah, we'll get it bonded and it can be like our little community coin. And obviously, we know ETF's going to run because Zach has the community for that to make it crazy. But we could have fun with this. And if it gets moving, it has an interesting name, that's for sure. And you can buy a bunch of it super cheap right now because it is literally like you just started the coin. So if you want to check it out, I posted it. And obviously, I created that during the Super Bowl. And so, yeah, I'm not pulling the rug and we can have fun with it. So that's rigged. And let's get cruising here and go through our list and see what we're looking at for this week. We have OCEA, and this one was getting set up here. Let's see what it wants to do. Pull back a little bit Friday, but I mean, this thing's in a perfect spot, and I would be watching this thing tomorrow. And obviously, I think the markets might be pretty green tomorrow, the way it closed on Friday. And then with this crypto news, things are going to want to move. MicroStrategy's up big time in the after hours. What's that up like? Let me see. $15 that says 19, something like that. I was just looking something like that. But yeah, it's definitely up right there. MicroStrategy, that was setting up. That's probably gonna run huge and other ones, and we'll obviously go through all them. But yeah, OCEA, let's take a look at it because it is getting set up, guys. And I think that bottom was in on Thursday, right around that 9 cent area, and it's just under 10 cents right now. And I do think this OCEA is going to be looking good this week, possibly even tomorrow. Like I said, it's in a perfect spot right there. Your 20 is just above it, but it does want to get bouncing here. It's at 14 cents or 20, but it does want to roll off that little trend line. Perfect setup. Keep an eye on it, OCEA. And here's another great one that we were super early on. It's up to 297 right now. What did that even close at? I have to look real quick now. It has my interest. Oh, wow. 250. 50s. That's up like 40 something dollars, guys. So yeah, that's popping way up there. And honestly, it gets over this, which it already is if it's at 297. It's already over that little trend line. And the next stop is like in the 330s, and then it gets over that 338, 340 area, and then it's really bouncing back up. So keep your eye on. We'll obviously go over it, but that just piqued my interest as you were posting that up because I didn't look at the after or the overnight hours. I mean, so I had no idea it was up that much, and I didn't remember what it closed at. But anyway, let's get back to TRNR. And this one obviously ran up really nice on Friday for us. It was a beauty right there. And let me see. Let's not click all the wrong buttons here. Hold on. TRNR. Here we go. And yeah, it ran up. I just wanted to see what it did. 166 to 302. It closed at that 284, and it does look really good. I think you might have a runner here in the morning as well. And that 20 is still curling up. So this one obviously could get set up and really take off. And again, we've looked at this thing before and it ran up and we were looking at it, was pulling back. But this one could be a nice popper tomorrow. Keep your eye on it again. It could have that momentum right there. And coins up also in the over hours. And yeah, we'll rock and roll through all that crypto stuff because it's wild. LRHC, let's see what that's up to real quick. La Rosa Holdings, it was getting set up, and again, it was trying to set up. It was in a perfect spot last week, and obviously nothing was running last week. You could have shorted anything down pretty much, except for the couple penny stocks that we had that were popping, and other than that, they were not looking good. But this probably bottomed out right here, that LRHC, and that is looking much better. Oh, there you go. LRHC. And yeah, it's definitely looking better. A little bit of pullback there. And that could have been its bottom right there on Friday at that 21 cents. I know it got down to 20 before, but yeah, that looks pretty good right there to try to bounce back up. So we'll keep an eye on LRHC and SDOT. This one is SDOT. Let me type it in right. SDOT. There we go. Static Group. And it's been running up for us. And I'm telling you, this thing's getting curled up, guys. It's looking really good. SDOT. Keep an eye on this thing because this thing is setting up even more to run up even higher here. And we just had it running up. And on Friday, it went 313 to 349. It closed at 345. So it closed up there. Looks really good right there. So we'll keep an eye on that SDOT. And it does look like it wants to run up higher. So keep your eye on that tomorrow. And good old Buru was down 2 cents. And I think it ran up in the after hours. It does say it there. And I thought I saw it did. Let me see. 31 to 34. It closed at 30. Well, maybe it was up a little bit, but it must have pulled back there. So it closed at 30, just a penny after, under where it opened. And it wasn't too bad. So Buru, just a little bit of pullback, nothing crazy right there. And that could be getting set up to run up even higher. So we'll keep an eye on Buru. And how about AIM, good old AIM? This one's been trying to get set up. It's still setting up. It's curled through. It looks really good. They have all kinds of partnerships going on with all kinds of people, with all kinds of medicine. I don't know what it is, but it's just flat right there on the MACD, and it was trying to curl through multiple times. And this one is going to get bouncing, guys. So keep an eye on this AIM, AIM. And I know we've been watching it for about 2 weeks now, and we knew that they had stuff going on. And again, we never even look at the news, but we just happened to see this one, and it was getting set up. So we had to look, and your 20s at that 14, a little over 14 and a half. We're at 13 and a half, and not looking bad. Maybe it came down into the 12s in the after hours, but this one's going to get set up right here. Even if it pulls back, which I doubt it will too much because it already crossed through, it'll be a little healthy to get moving. So keep an eye on AIM. It's going to aim up and get moving. And good old Holo right here, HOLO. Let's look at it. It was pulling back 5 cents, and that almost looks like a bottom, like like it wants to roll off that MACD. And again, once they're over, they like to stay over. And this is in that spot where it could easily pull itself back up. So I would say keep an eye on Holo. It was 102 down to 92, and it closed at 96 on Friday. And that could have just been a little bottom dip and rip look right there. So we'll keep an eye on Holo and see if it is a dip and rip. We'll be able to tell. Look at it tomorrow morning as well. It does look like it might want to dip and rip, and that was its bottom down there around 91, 92 cents. So yeah, keep an eye on HOLO if you like that one. And good old CYN, this recently reverse split has not started to move yet, and nothing really was last week, especially if they had reverse split. They really weren't moving, but I would say keep an eye on it. We love after they reverse split. Speaking of which, Clue does it tomorrow, and LICN, I believe it was. Is that the one it was? Lichen, I think, is the one that reverse splits tomorrow as well. Yeah, that one tomorrow, and CLEU. So we'll keep an eye on them tomorrow because they're going to reverse split. And we do love that. But CYN did recently reverse split, and it wants to get out of this basement. It's curling up really good right here, guys. So keep an eye on CYN. That is getting set up as well. And our buddy OCGN, we've been liking it. I'm telling you guys, there's something about this thing. I told you a couple weeks ago. I knew we were super early, and I did tell you this. Let the chart get changed around, and I'll let you guys know. But we've had it on the list for a reason because I'm telling you what's going to happen. It's going to change around, get super bullish. And down here at the 65 cent area, 64 cents, is going to be a really good buy because whatever's happening on this company, I have no idea. I know it's a biotech company. I've traded it a million times, and they did have an FDA alignment phase 2 or 3 or something the other day. I know I read it, and it is looking good. They have earnings coming up this week on, I didn't even change it, but on Wednesday it is. So there you go. They have their earnings coming up, and it somehow looks pretty good. It already had crossed through, and these ones that crossed through came down. They have an easier time crossing through and not hitting 3 or 4 times. So OCGN very well could get cruising off of its earnings, and even if not, it's going to stay in this channel, get set up, and then get cruising. So that's what OCGN is looking like, and we are keeping it on the list because it is set up, and that MPW, that Medical Properties Trust. Remember, put this on the list the other day, and then boom, boom, there you go, and that's why we do this. MPW, we add stuff to the list as it's about to be popping, and Friday went 550 to 594. It closed at that 587, and looks pretty good. So there you go. And MPW, yeah, looking pretty good right there, I must say. And it is up in the top too. So I think it might run in the morning. It's one that you might want to keep an eye on and see if it has that momentum in the morning. That's MPW right there. So looking good and up in the top there. And RILY. B. Riley, this guy's been running up there. It's hitting that top area, and I know we were in it super early, but it may run some more tomorrow, guys. You may want to watch it in the morning, see if it pops up into that top area, and if it does, it's going to get cruising again. It kind of looks like it wants to. I can't promise you because after the weekend, but I would take a look at it just to see if it wants to run early. And again, it could be one of them ones that gets like popping up there early in the morning, and then 4 a.m. Weeblers are usually on point with that one right there. So that would be something for you guys. And that OKLO, added that to the list again. I remember that one ran up, pulled back, hitting that trend line, looking really good. So you're going to want to keep an eye on OKLO right here because this one's getting set up and it's looking okay. But like I said, it is setting up right there and looking much better off that trend line. So I assume that's going to be curling up right there. So we'll keep an eye on OKLO and good old UPS here. That was up $1.40. And remember, we liked it down a little bit way lower. It was right at the 20. So it was like the 116, I guess it was right around 116. It's at 119 right now. for good old UPS, but it is getting cruising up there, looking much better. So keep an eye on UPS. Your 50s up here at 122. So there you go for UPS. And Lockheed Martin LMT right here. Let's see what Lockheed Martin's doing. That one's running up. It was running up there Friday. Looking pretty good. Your resistance is up there at like 459 and you're in the 450. So still have some room for Lockheed Martin to move up. And it looks like it does want to. So keep an eye on that one to continue up. And we were early there. And here's one that you're going to want to keep an eye on that we were early on before it pulled back a little bit, but it's getting set up right now, and that's good old ELF. And ELF looks like it wants to get cruising again, guys. I think it's going to come out of the basement this time and actually have its run. And last time, why did it pull back? I thought they had earnings, but maybe they did or didn't. I don't even know. Yeah, they did. I remember they did have earnings right here, and it definitely pulled back right there, February 6th. And now it's down here, and it's looking much better. I would keep an eye on the old ELF right here, ELF. It was 69.57 up to 70.87. It closed at 70.45. So, but it got down to that 68.88 on Friday, and that could be its bottom for right now. I know it had got down to 63.50 before in the beginning of February, but I think right now that could be that bottom, and we will definitely keep an eye on ELF because I think that one's getting set up right here. So keep an eye on good old ELF, good old ELF right there. And it's not even Christmas time, but ELF is looking good. Again, it's a beauty product company, and I'm telling you, it is getting set up. How about that Advanced Auto Parts, AAP? And we were watching it. Remember, it was getting set up. It ran the one day, pulled back here for its earnings. And I would say keep an eye on this because it probably bottomed out there Friday at that 36.17. And it is looking much better, I would say, going into Monday. We'll obviously look at it. And it might not necessarily pop tomorrow, but it probably should curl back up and look a little better right there. So I would say AAP, Advanced Auto Parts, looking pretty decent at the moment. So keep an eye on that one. And here we go. Let's take a look and see what the next one, because it's looking really good. This Trade Desk one, TTD. And I like this as well. I know Luis Rodriguez pointed this out the other day. And I think Friday was its bottom right there on TTD. Let me take a look and see what it did here. It went 71.39 up to 73.08. It came down into 69.37. And again, that could have been its little bottom. And then it closed at 70.42. And it is looking good. Obviously, we always watch for a little pullback as it's curling up right there to hit that MACD. But it is looking nice to get curled up and try to get moving. And I think we are in its bottom. This thing was just trading in like the 120s not long ago. What day was that? It was February 13th. No, the 12th. So the 13th is when it took a nice little dip down there into the 85s. And again, we're at 70 right now getting set up. So just keep an eye on it tomorrow, see if it pulls back any. But that is looking good. And that is your TTD. True Golf, TURG. This one was down a penny. And again, remember I told you where I was going to pull back to that 44 cents. Look where that low is on Friday, 44 cents right there. And then it closed at about 46, I believe, right up there. I know it bounced back up 45. It closed. It was at around 46. So yeah, it touched down there. And I think it even got a little lower. It came down to 42. It touched underneath that. It was either in the after hours in the morning, probably. It probably was in the pre-market. It got down there. And yeah, this thing's going to get set up in this channel and get moving. And it tried, like we were talking before, it tried to get through that resistance. It couldn't do it before. And yeah, it's going to get moving. And Trades and Gains, how's it going, my man? TTD has some bullish flow. There you go. So yeah, he's liking it. He looks at all that good stuff right there. He's great at watching all that. And Luis Rodriguez, he's great at that too. He says the gap will be filled on TTD. So absolutely keep an eye on that TTD. I'm telling you, that one's a great one right there. Especially, I'm assuming they have options. I'm sure, right, Luis Rodriguez, because what was it at one something, I think. Oh, 70, but it was up at It was just in the 120s. That's right. So I'm assuming they do have options, and it'll probably be a great one. It's a software application company, and I know you brought it to our attention like a week ago, and it was just taking its good old time. Obviously, last week nothing was looking that great, so we got a great price action right there. So yeah, TTD. I'm telling you, that one's going to be a solid one this week, guys. And then that True Golf's getting filled up or filled up. It's getting set up, and UOKA. This one, UOKA. This one's getting set up. I don't even know where that came from, but this one was looking really good. And I'm going to expect this one, UOKA. Check it out because it is getting to be in a really good spot right there. But it did try to pull back on Friday, and that could have been its little dip and rip look right there. So we will absolutely keep an eye on this UOKA. And like I said, it's at 15 cents right now. It's a little over 15. And that probably is its bottom. And I think that's going to be curling up this week. Like I said, that's in that good spot right there where they love to bounce and pop off. So definitely keep an eye on UOKA. And that TTD is optionable. Thank you very much, Luis Rodriguez. Perfect. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at that one to give you guys a heads up because I'm telling you, that thing is looking good. And Trades and Gains is saying that the flows are pretty damn bullish, and he posted that. I'll even repost it for you guys. And again, he looks at all them statistics and everything. He's very into the fundamentals of the charts and everything. So we will be looking at that TTD. You know, when we all like it like that, it's going to be pretty good. It's setting up nice. So definitely keeping an eye on it. So anyway, UOKA is another one I definitely like and setting up. That is like a penny stock, 15 cents, but in the right spot and looking good right there. And let's see real quick. Let me take a look and see what's going on. CYCU. Let me take a look at this bad boy right here. And let me get this one is that one that had pulled back and is curling up right here. Let me see what's going on. 73 to 86. There you go. It ran around there Friday and finished at 79. That one's going to be much better this week as well. And that one had run up. I mean, this one was crazy, guys. What was it at not long ago? It was in like February 7th. It was like in the $53 range. So it was way up there for CYCU. Keep an eye on that. That's getting set up. CHSN, this Chanson, I'm telling you, this might have been that dip and rip too. We've been watching this thing and it kept on dipping down, but I think this thing's starting to look much better. CHSN, so I would be keeping an eye on Chanson right here. What did it do Friday? 28 came down to 23, so that could be what did it come down to before 22s, 21. So yeah, it's right there. Probably down here would have been its bottom down there, like 21 area, I'm saying. And but CHSN, I think's a good one. It's been in the basement. We'll make sure it gets curled up, but I think that's getting set up. LITM, we were watching this a little bit, and it pulled back there on Friday. I think that's getting bottomed out. And again, some of these ones that are bottoming out and they're going to curl up, we know that they don't necessarily pop the next day. LITM 42 to 43. It went down to 38 and did close at that 43. Has some momentum. And again, they curl up, they get moving, then they hit the line and kind of flatten out. So we'll watch for that pop up there as it's curling up on LITM. That one's getting set up there. And ASBP, let's look at that guy. Aspire Biopharma. And let me see what's going on here. That's in the basement. Oh, this is another one that took that big dip, and we were just keeping an eye on this one, that biotech one, ASBP. Let me see. And let's see what it did. 164 to 174. It's down at 155. So we'll just keep an eye on that guy and see when that one wants to get set up at that bottom and get really curled up there. It's got a few days, I think. So we'll watch it this week because it is a good one. And I'll let you know when that one wants to get ready. And our logic mark, LGMK. There we go for logic mark. And let's see what that's up to real quick. Oh yeah, Logic Mark's looking good. The only thing with it is hitting that line and kind of for the first or second time, let me see. Probably the second time. We have to keep an eye. Now the market could kind of change on us a little bit right here, which isn't a bad thing, but we know that these things have been hitting like three, it takes them 3 or 4 times to get through the MACD. We know that pattern right now. Maybe it gets changed up now that the market might switch up, start really looking green this week. I can't guarantee it, but I have a feeling it might look much better after all that pullback. And then you see what crypto's doing. So I would assume that it's going to look better tomorrow morning. But yeah, we're going to look at Logic Markets coming right up to that line to hit it. So I'll definitely look at that one tomorrow, and we'll see where that's sitting right there. LGMK and PW. This one was looking good last week at the end of the week. Let's see how it ended. Yeah, it was running up on Wednesday, Thursday a little bit, and it looks still good to me. PW's that power right one, and it did. It ran up Wednesday to 150. And then Friday, 120 down to 111. It closed at 115, but not bad. Just a little bit of healthy pullback. It's still over that MACD. And again, they usually roll off like 3 times right now. It does look good that it wants to. So keep an eye on that PW. That's looking pretty good to stay set up. And FAAS is at DigiAsia. And this one just has a crazy look right here, guys. I'd watch this thing. It's going to roll off that MACD. I don't know what they even do or what's going on here, but it is looking pretty good. I know that. Software infrastructure in Singapore. And, they haven't even had news that doesn't say down here until since October 16th of last year, obviously. So who the heck knows what's going on? I'm not saying they don't have news, but all the news I gather is from FinViz. So if there's nothing updated, I have no idea what the company's doing. Anyway, FAAS, DigiAsia, this one I'm telling you has something going on here. So we definitely want to keep an eye on that one. And we were looking at that, and someone on the YouTube page was asking me about that, and it definitely got set up now. I would say it's looking good right there. So that's FAAS and BTAI. This thing is looking really good as well. I don't know what I just did, but BTAI, here we go. BioXL Therapeutics. And this thing came out of the basement right there on Friday and was looking really good. 176 to 282. It came up and almost hit that 20 up there at about 287. And it is looking good. I'd watch this one in the morning, see if it can bust through. Has some resistance up there at around 310, but not looking bad at all. So I would keep an eye on that. And let's see what's going on right here. Oh, that's BTAI right there. And then let me know if you guys want to see anything. Let me cruise through these guys, and then I'll check out the messages and see what you guys are up to. SOUN, let's look at it. SOUN, that Soundhound's looking good, guys. And it did try to get crossed through a couple times right there. And now it's looking like it wants to. Again, we know that they try to bounce off, but that could stop. Again, that's not a very common pattern. It definitely saved us there for a little while, for a good week or so, maybe 2 weeks after we knew what pattern that was, not to jump into any too early. So we'll see if it continues, but this is looking pretty hot, and they could start crossing through and running. So we will definitely keep an eye on that one, and that is SOUN setting up right there. Just make sure it's truly setting up, like I said. Sax Parente Golf. This one pulled back really good on Friday. I remember it pulled back on Thursday there too. SPGC, and that's one we looked at. It had run up into that $1.34, and now it's back at 15 cents. Wow. There you go. That could be a really good one. We'll keep an eye on it. It's not set up yet, that Sax Parente Golf SPGC yet, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it. So it did take a nice dip right there, and we will take a look at that one right and keep an eye on that. And BITX, let's see what that's doing. That 2-time Bitcoin strategy ETF, and this is going to be curling up tomorrow. So I would say definitely keep an eye on it. BITX. Let me see. I mean, it did run 34.39. It was at 40.27. It closed in the 39 area and did look good on Friday. So I would say that's looking pretty strong. And this AIBT, I think this is like a uh, um, OTC. I couldn't think of the letters. It's Ibotics or something. I don't know. I think we looked at it last week and it was kind of topping out. I feel like this is topped out and going to be coming down. So that is an OTC. And then there's another one, BNCM, and that is Bounce Mobile Systems. And this one's curling up to hit the line. And again, you can kind of see what's going on, but I'm not so sure it's going to curl through right there. So they are two OTCers right there, and that's AIBT and BNCM. And let's look at that SLNH and see what that's doing. Soluna Holdings, and that's at that buy. We're going to keep an eye on this. This is getting set up. I don't think it's exactly ready. It could have bottomed out there Friday. We'll make sure, but again, it's been trying to get curled up there several times, making that really quick try to curl up and not being able to do it. So let's just let it get set up, but I'll keep an eye on that one because that's going to be good. And TOAP, I haven't looked at this in a long time. It's a China infrastructure one. It looks like it's pulling back. We'll have to see what it wants to do when it gets to that MACD right there, TOAP. But yeah, we'll see. It's getting there. I'll look to see. It's underneath the 20. It could get curled up right there. And again, most of them that are over the MACD don't want to go through at the moment. So they do stay on top of it and then roll off. So I'll just have to take a look at TAOP and see what it wants to do tomorrow. And this CONL, I think that's a ETF, coin ETF. There you go. And oh yeah, that looks bottomed out and gonna get rolling, guys. So CONL, that coin ETF long. Check this one out. And again, coin's an expensive one. What's that at? Because this is at $23 and it's recently been in the 40s and 50s. And coin is at 215. Obviously, that's cheap too. That's rolling up and looking good. And it's setting up to get up into that like 240s to 260 area real quick. So yeah, I mean, but Coinbase is expensive, and CONL, you can definitely run options on ETFs right there. So we've talked about it plenty of times. So just a good opportunity. DUOL, that's Duolingo. Duolingo, an application. I guess they do software with languages, I would imagine. Who knows? But they just had their earnings and it came crashing down on Thursday. So we will keep an eye on that. DUOL. I don't think it's ready to just bounce back up, and not many of them do. So I'll have to take a look at that tomorrow and see what it wants to do right there. AKAM. And this one is a software infrastructure in the US. And this one's getting curled up coming out of the basement and looking good. This one has a good pop looking at it. Keep an eye on this one. We will definitely look at it. It got better after its earnings the other day. And this one is setting up AKAM. And good old Barrick Gold is GOLD, Barrick Gold Corp, looking like it wants to pull back. It was trying to run up. It was hitting that 20 on Friday. And let's see, GOLD. It is hitting that 20. We'll have to see. It was crossed through, so these ones do have a shot of actually curling back up and going through. So if it does want to, it could definitely do it right there. And so we'll see for sure if it wants to curl back up and get into that 20. But it does look like it kind of wants to pull back at the moment. So I'll look at gold tomorrow, GOLD, and we'll see what they want to do. And good old HUD, I'm sure, is looking good. So all these ones that are tied to crypto, like I said, we go through them. Good old Hut curling up, looking really good. And again, on Friday, you didn't want to be jumping into them because we had no idea that they were going to be doing something Sunday. They started to look good, but you definitely wanted to make sure. And that should pop out of the basement looking really good. It's only hit the MACD like one time and it came down. So maybe it tries to hit it one more time and get set up. But again, with this momentum with the crypto, they could easily do it. So we'll be watching these bad boys tomorrow. Same with Hive, HIVE. That's a new one. That's a new one. It's not a new one. It's another one that's kind of tied to crypto. It's a capital market, but it does move when crypto does. And that one one looks like it bottomed out there on Friday. HIVE, and it's at 207 looking good. So keep an eye on the good old Hive. And that is HIVE looking nice. And good old Icon. We've been watching this one. And it did pull back there on Friday. Let's see if that was its bottom here. It went 22 to 26. It actually ran up and then it came way down. So it went 22 to 26 down to 14 and closed at 15 cents ICON. So I didn't even realize it ran up there. Not sure exactly when it did. Let me look. 22 to 26. So it did it during the daytime or during the regular trading hours, I shall say. And so yeah, there you go. ICON. If you were paying attention to that, it did run up. Never got through to 20. Still in the basement. I'm sure it'll set up some more, but it did run up right there a little bit. And PITA. Good old Peter, Haramba Electric right here. That was down 8 cents and pulling back. It had run up right there, and we were looking at this right before it started to run up, and it is pulling back in the 20. We'd have to take a look at it and see what it wants to do. But that is PITA. PETA and WTO is U time, that small cap China one, and it did pull back there on Friday. Let me see what it wants to do. Maybe these bad boys are pulling back, and it did. It was crossed over and it crossed down. You know, they can go back up, but we'll have to take a look. And again, the markets could change around very quick. I mean, that's what we're talking about every day is how overreacted they are. So these China ones were really set up right here. And I'm looking at EJH real quick, and that's kind of just pulling back a little bit more, it looks like. So we'll have to keep an eye on some of these China small caps. EJH could have bottomed out there Friday. We'll see at that 52. So we'll look at them and see how they open up tomorrow as well. And that is a couple of the China small caps right there, WTO, EJH. And let's look at PBM. I noticed had like psychedelic mushrooms or some company with a biotech in Canada. And it was trying to curl up last week. I know that. Let me take a look at it. PBM. It isn't looking bad. 122 to 129. It closed at 121. It's still over that MACD and not looking bad. It could easily get rolling if it wants to. So we will keep an eye on that one as well. And ZSPC, it looks like Z Space right here. This is a computer hardware one. This is a new one. I was gonna say, I don't know if we've ever looked at Z Space before. I don't really remember, but it is fairly new, so I just don't remember if we looked at it. And when it start here, December 5th. And it is going to set up, guys. And again, we'll look at the computer hardware ones and maybe we'll add this one to it. I will. I'll write it right here. ZSPC. There we go. And we'll keep that one on that list. And when I look at RGTI and all them guys, QUBT, we can look at that as well. Because, like I said, I'm not sure if we ever even looked at it, but we'll check it out. And that is ZSPC, and this MNMD is that Mind Medicine, and that one was pulling back. I remember last week they have earnings coming up on March 6th, which is what, Thursday. So they do have earnings coming up. It could have bottomed out. We'll keep an eye on it. And with earnings coming up, we'll just keep an eye on that this week and see what it wants to do. And that Rich Tech Robotics RR, that's getting set up, guys. Tried to curl through a couple times, has been beaten down. Glad we knew what that looked like. And it should have bottomed out here on the 25th. Down there at about 161. We're at 190 now. So, and again, maybe they try to hit that MACD that third time, come back, and then get cruising. So we'll obviously see how everything opens up tomorrow and go from there. But HEPA, this one was trying to get set up and pull back on Friday, and that could easily be a nice dip and rip look because it's hitting that bottom, and it came down to that 12 cents. It opened at 14. It's at 13. So I would keep an eye on HEPA and see if that wants to bounce. And again, you got to be super patient with all of these because they almost all do this dip and rip. Almost how you know that they're going to start ripping because they do that real big dip. Sometimes they dip like 2 or 3 times and then do it. So HEPA looks like it's ready, and that's HEPA and LAES. This was setting up last week. It was sitting on that trend line and pulled back on Friday, and another one again. Came through that MACD. It tried to get curled up, what, once, twice? I'm trying to see. Once, I'd say twice, three. So, yeah, I think this next time might be the time that LAES can get through. So, that bottom could have been there on Friday around 279 on LAES. And obviously, we were looking at that look for a while there, couple weeks of that hitting the MACD and trying to get set up. So, we'll see if it changes or if it sticks around. It's fine if it sticks around because we know what it looks like, but it's also great if it changes and they start blasting through because they run. FBGL, that one that's been running down here, that pulled back on Friday. Didn't even see that one. FBGL, this is a fairly new one too, and it still didn't get down. I think that low was at 73 cents, and the low on Friday was 85. So it is setting up here, just bouncing around as it sets up, and that's FBGL and the Antelope AEHL. Let's look at Antelope Enterprises. And that's pulling back and it's crossed over, pulling back to that MACD, and it's hitting that line right there. So we'll see if it gets rolling off of there, which they generally have been. So Friday could have been its bottom there at 11 cents. And then the Antelope wants to get cruising like an antelope. And let's take a look at that DGLY because that was trying to get set up as well. And that one's in one of them good spots in the basement. I would definitely keep an eye on DGLY this week because it does look really good right there. I would say that's looking set up. And BHAT came down on Friday, and it came down from 4 cents. Where's it closed at? Like 4 cents, it looks like it closed. Let me see what it did here. BHAT. Hold on. Good old BHAT. Looked like it's pulling back, is what it looked like. Yeah, we'll see what B had. It could have a little bit of pullback in it. It's hitting that MACD, crossing it down, but it could easily pull itself up, and that could be its bottom. So keep an eye on that in the morning because it very well could change around right there for BHAT. So keep an eye on BHAT and SMX. Let's look at SMX Security Matters right here, and that's down 9 cents. And let's see, just kind of setting up. And I think that bottom was the other day there at the 25th. It got down to that 220. And yeah, SMX not looking bad. That security company that we've looked at a few times. So Friday, yeah, it could have bottomed out there and getting ready to set up. And it is way down there. So keep an eye on SMX. And STSS, that's at Sharps Technology. We were looking at this. It's been in the basement. It tried to get out and then pull itself back in, but it's not looking bad to try to base out and try to get moving again. So we will keep an eye on that and see where it's at. The 20's at 36, and we're at 29 cents. So you're right around there on the STSS, and we'll keep an eye on that just to see when it's getting curled up and ready. But it's getting to be in a good spot right there. So that is one to keep an eye on. And good old SENS. SENS, here we go. Let's see what it's doing. That one pulled back. That 20's coming down. It does have earnings coming up, and that would be what? The third is what? Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Today's definitely the second. So they have earnings tomorrow. Let's see how it looks. It does look like it's trying to curl up for these earnings right here, but I can't promise you it's on that 50, and it could bounce back, pull back a little bit more down to the 71 if it really wanted to. So we'll have to see what that wants to do tomorrow. SENS. And good old Robinhood, HOOD. This one's getting set up, guys. It's on that trend line and probably bottomed out there the other day at that 44.02 on the 25th. And we're at $50 for Robinhood. And I would assume that's going to move as the markets are moving. So that's looking pretty good right there. And let's see what Tara's up to. Let's see what she wants to do. Pro Tara Therapeutics. And I know we caught this for a popper one other time, and this thing isn't looking bad. It was popped up there Friday, running off of that bottom right there. Good old Tara making that big curl. Well, I'd have to look at it tomorrow, but I would say we bowlers keep an eye on this bad boy in the morning because Tara looks like she's setting up and could get moving right there. So there you go. And let me go through the messages real quick. I'll see what's going on and what you guys are up to. And then we'll look at our laptop travel list, our Joey's jams, our big caps, and our crypto is going to be fun to look at finally because it's way up. And so let me see what you guys have posted up here real quick and see what's going on. That CONL is in the basement, but flashed a big green candle on Friday. It's up 21% in overnight trading right there for that CONL. And that is that CONL is the ETF right there. And what else is going on? Um, Let me see. I'm not sure what you guys were talking about. Trades and gains and laptop travel. UPWK. What's that one right there? I'm not even familiar with that. What is that? UPWK and Upwork. Let's see. That one's looking pretty good too. And recently just crossed through coming down. But again, these are the ones that can go back up real easy. And yeah, I would keep an eye on that. It looks pretty good right there, I would say, Shiki. So UPWK, I would keep an eye on that. And even if it pulls back, it's coming to that 15 area, and you're at about 1593. So actually, it looks like it went up to 16. I'm telling you, it's crazy, but I would believe it went to 1639 because it looks like it's hitting that MACD pretty good. And just make sure it crosses right through there, and you should be pretty good to keep going up work right there, Shiki on UPWK. And let's see what else is going on. Insider trading on Trump's crypto reserve announcement. Yeah, I know. Yesterday, a whale went 50 times long on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I know that to make a $200 million position. I saw that today, and it is insane, guys. And like I said, what did I tell you guys? Did I not tell you it was dipped down on purpose right there? I definitely told you. And Trades and Gains said that TTD had a weak Q4, so we'll need a bounce back, but well positioned with brands needing to move more to a digital advertising right there. And laptop travel says he's on his iPad, but space is not available on tablets. Oh, whoa. I had no idea. That sucks. I didn't even know that was going on. But yeah, TTD, I would say definitely needs a reversal right there. It does have options. We were talking about that one, and we were talking about TTD. Let me see. NIO. Let me see what that one looks like real quick. NIO, real quick. NIO. And that one I remember did jump up there on Thursday. A little bit of pullback Friday. I think that might have been healthy. Doesn't look too bad right there. Let me see what's going on. If it pulls back anymore, it looks like it should get caught up on that 430 area. So let's look at it tomorrow. NIO. It did run up Thursday, but it does look pretty solid. It might, like I said, need that little bit of extra pullback just to go up some more. So we'll see what that wants to do tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to be pulling back too hard. At least it doesn't look like it wants to at the moment. I guess anything can happen over the weekend, but that's how it closed on Friday, and we can look at it tomorrow morning as well. And we did look at that Coinbase up. Let me see what else and MicroStrategy, and we'll look at them again. Here's a couple other ones from Luis Rodriguez, ABNB and HIMS. Let's look at them bad boys. ABNB is Airbnb, and that one was down 58 cents. And that one looks like it was just kind of pulling back right there. Let's see, ABNB right here, Airbnb. I would watch that to try to pull back to the 50 at like 136 area real quick and then see if it gets really set up, even the 135 area. So we'll see if it tries to get curled back around, but it's a good one to keep an eye on because you know it's going to get down there and then turn back around. And that HIMS took a nice dip the other day. And I don't know if it's going to get through that 20. It could at 47.96. It's at that 45 area or 44. Let me see. It is at 45.15. It is trying to curl back up. And again, it did cross through coming down, so they have the best chance of going through at the moment. We'll see when it gets back into the 47 area. exactly what it wants to do. But another one that it'll be good to keep an eye on it because it did have that nice dip and it was running up. And good old DraftKings here, DKNG. And this one appears to be trying to get set up. Same chart setup for the most part, coming through the MACD. Wants to stay in that channel. I'd have to look at it tomorrow just to keep an eye on it to make sure. And again, your 20's up here at about 44, say 45. We're at 43.83 right there. So we will look at it. And again, this one could try to curl through, but they could also not catch the momentum and bounce off to get set up. So I will look at all three of them. Not bad. And obviously some good setups right there. Let me see what else is going on. I think we got everything for that. And let me see what else is happening right here. I had no idea you couldn't even listen to them on a tablet. That's crazy if you can't. Something new to learn, but there we go. And that's what Laptop Travel was saying. So anyway, let's go ahead, look at our laptop travel list real quick while we're talking about laptop travel. And then we'll do our Jolie's jams. And then if you guys want to see anything else, let me know. We'll go through our crypto and everything else. So AIRI, let's look at that one. Air Industries. It was trying to run up last week. It definitely bounced off that bottom there the other day on the 25th at 350. It's at four something, maybe at $4 right there on the 20. It had some interesting pop up, and it did. It got right in the channel. And another one, again, we'll look at it tomorrow. It did come through coming down, but I'm not so sure it's exactly ready to cross through yet. And we'll have to see tomorrow. This one's actually a good one for me to look at because it's hitting that line for the first time. So, I mean, not going to be the end all be all. It'll really tell me every pattern, but just an interesting one to just get a good glimpse at real quick. Because again, they're all kind of following that pattern of bouncing off it a couple times. So I'll keep an eye on this. More interested in what it wants to do tomorrow. AIRI and ALT, that alt immune. Again, we looked at this thing and it was trying to get set up. They just had their earnings, and I believe we even said wait for their earnings, and I would say it's probably going to be good right now. Friday 640 to 667. It did close at 650. It's getting into that channel of the 20, bouncing off the trend line, and your 50's up here at like almost $7, and it's looking pretty good right there for ALT. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that one. And I believe we talked about it before, and they had something. I forget what the heck they. Oh, I think they had um, the obesity drug stuff for Altimmune. If I remember correctly, I could be way off, but again, I don't really follow much news. Anyway, APT here, Alpha Protech, and let's see what this one's doing. And this one's crawling up real tight too, so we'll have to see. It's hitting that 20 and 50, and this will be a pretty good one to keep an eye on tomorrow as well. Look like it had some pullback, but I do want to look and see what that's doing. And that AIRI, so I'm going to keep an eye on them. APVO, let's see what that's doing real quick. That one's in the channel, just trying to get cruising right there. So let me see APVO. And yeah, it's just bouncing up there. That one actually might be a good runner tomorrow. It's up 23 cents, not looking bad for APVO. Might want to take a look at that. AZTR, here we go. And this one's getting curled up, guys. This thing's going to get bouncing. It looks like back off that MACD right here for AZTR. Let me see. Yeah, I would keep an eye on that one for sure. AZTR, I might have to watch that one tomorrow. What's it at? 35 cents. Not looking bad right there. CSCI, Co-Science or something, Biopharma. And this is going to be in a good spot to get bouncing, guys. This is another one to keep an eye on this week for sure. CSCI, because it is looking pretty good right there. So we will keep an eye on that one. And let's take a look and see what Dare is up to, DARE. And that was up 4 cents. Curling up really good. I remember we were looking at it last week. And yeah, it's in that channel getting set up. Keep an eye on Dare, not looking bad. DSY, let's see what that's doing here. DSY. Big Tree Cloud Holdings. And that one's going to crawl off that MA or that 20 right there and try to run it up. So we'll just watch it. It should be getting set up right there for DSY. And let's see what DTCK is doing. DTCK. Davis Commodities, that was running up on Friday. I remember it looked really good the other day, and it was running up there. And I would keep an eye on this one and see if it has some momentum right there, because it very well could. And let's see what DXR is doing right here. DXR. Here we go with Daxer Corp. And that one's trying to get running up there. So I'll keep an eye on that one this week for DXR. Easy Go. Familiar with this China one? This is like a recreational vehicle one. And this one's trying to get going, guys. Easy Go might be an easy go. And it may run up to that 50 at 59 cents. It's at 52. So I would keep an eye on it. It does look like it wants to go. And GENK we looked at before, that Gen Restaurants. And that one's trying to get set up. And I remember we looked at it. It ran up like one day and then pulled right back. But now it actually doesn't look too bad right here. I think it got through to 2550 to 582. Is at 580. And yeah, I would be keeping an eye on GENK. GLE. Let's see what that one's doing right here. GLE. And that one's getting cruising, guys. So yeah, that one's crawling up through that channel and moving. GLE, a lot of great ones right here. I think you're gonna have a lot of great opportunities this week, that's for sure. And GTBP, this is another one, was running up on Friday and should continue right there. GTBP. Yeah, that was 220 to 247. It closed at 228, but that's another one that looks good. HUDI, Hootie, and this is in that channel. It could just stay right there for a moment and get set up. IZM, we were looking at this Ixzoom, and it's in that channel and just getting set up. The 50s up here at about 150, and you're at about 131. So that'll get set up in that LBGI, I believe it is. What is it? Um, LB, I thought it was like LBGJ. I forget. LBG something. LBGJ. That's it. LBGJ. I'm sorry. LBGJ, Lai Bang International China one. And this thing has some momentum. It was running up off that top or off that bottom right there. LBGJ. There we go. And yeah, it's in that channel. I mean, you can look at that. It ran up. I'd have to look at it after the weekend. MGLD, Marigold Companies is getting set up, guys. That'll probably be a runner this week. MGLD right there. It was trying to run 106 and it came down to 99. It's at 99. I'll look at that tomorrow because it looks like it pulled back in the after hours. And yeah, I wasn't looking, but it does say it pulled back in the after hours for that MGLD and OPTN. OptiNose. And this is just trying to get set up right here. I'll take a better look at that. It did pull back, but it looks like it's rolling off that MACD right there for OPTN. Not looking bad right there. It was running up a little bit on Friday. So that's one to keep an eye on. And PTIX, let's see, PTIX, let's see, Protangenic Therapeutics. And let's see what's going on. Let me see, 30 cents. Let's see what's happening here. And this one looks like it's trying to bounce up off of that 20 right there, PTIX. It did run Friday, 29 to 37, and it closed at 28. I'd have to look at it. It doesn't really have that it ran up that much. So it did run up a little bit. I'll look at that one. SLGL. Sogel Technologies, that was running up on Friday. Keep an eye on this one to be a little momentum play. It looks like 58 to 69. It closed at 67. So that one could be a momentum. And THCH, let's see, THCH. Hold on, THCH. There we go. And this one was running up 306 to 326, closed at 313, and does look like it wants to run up some more. So keep an eye on that one as well. THCH and TZUP. Let's see. Thumbs Up Media and TZUP. I remember we looked at this one once before, TZUP. And it is in that 20. It is trying to curl up, guys. I would say it ran up on Wednesday pretty good. It's actually been running up the last 3 days. Keep an eye on TZUP. Not looking bad there. XRTX. Exortex Therapeutics or something like that. Little healthy pullback on Friday, but nothing crazy. And that one could just be in that channel, but we'll look at it tomorrow and see if it wants to get moving. And that YYAI is at Cognac Sports, and we were looking at it. It did run up the other day. It popped up on the 24th, and honestly, it's trying to get set back up again in a good spot. So we'll keep an eye on it this week to see what it wants to do because it is getting set up again. And ZBAO, here we go at ZBAO. And that one's curling up real good. So keep an eye on that one and some good ones right there from Laptop Travel, ZBAO. And yeah, it's trying to get into that 20. It did jump up there, 145 to 152. It closed at 141. I'll keep an eye on it, but it does look like it's trying to get into that channel to move. And that is ZBAO in your laptop travel list right there. Let's look at our Joey's Jams real quick. AGFY. Good old Agrify was down 49 cents, but I'm telling you, this thing's getting set up. We'll keep an eye on it, see how far it wants to pull back, but it does look good to set up. And that Blink, the same thing. It's curled up there, got out of the basement, not looking bad. And good old Sezzle's moving up. And like I say, I always wish this one had options. We'll have to see, though. It did cross down. It was trying to run up there Friday, and we'll have to see what Sezzle actually wants to do right here. It could get curled right back up and run. But again, I would have to look at it. Sterling right here is looking much better, and that's trying to curl through. Keep an eye on this STRL, looking much better than it did, and that one could really get cruising right there. That one looks good, right? For I think, and good old Rivian's looks a little bit set. Let me see. It looks like it's trying to set back up. I'm not so sure. It did curl through coming down. You're going to have resistance up here at about 1270-ish, and you're at 1185, but we'll have to see how it bounces around tomorrow for Rivian and Symbotic, SYM. This one was just pulling back. It might be trying to bottom out down here, but it might run down there for a little bit while it sets up. And that is SYM, good old Symbotic. So we'll let that one set up and keep an eye on it. And here we go. We'll just roll right through our SPY, our big caps, and then boom, we'll go through our crypto. That's obviously looking amazing after what it's been looking. It looks like it pulled back some, and that's honestly perfect because I thought it had run up pretty good today, and I figured you'd probably see a little bit of pullback as we came into the night. So if you really want to be looking at them and try to get some prices, keep an eye on them overnight because tomorrow morning they could be cruising back up. I'm not saying they definitely will. We'll look at it and see. Actually, let's just look at it real quick. Bitcoin's at 93,000, Sol's at 171, Ethereum's at 2,443, Ripple's at 281, and Cardano's at 107. So you're talking some big run ups right there. They were way down. And I'll go through and look at the charts real quick. And Doge is back to like almost 23 cents. So here we go. I'll tell you what the charts look like for crypto. And they obviously look way better. And again, Bitcoin is back at 93 right there. And let's see what's going on here. It is. Yeah, it's hitting that line now, and I'm telling you, I think they might have a little bit of pullback. And again, you had a major run up, so I could see them pulling back, but it's not going to be anything crazy, and it could be your last time to really get in them. I mean, they're having some huge announcement on Friday or a crypto summit or something at the White House. Ethereum's trying to run back up. And that one's, again, trying to crawl up to that MACD. It might bounce off, come down. We kind of know that. Maybe they try to get set back up all week, and then Friday they get cruising. So watch for some dips and some good opportunities here. Solana's back at 171. So just keep an eye on that one right there. And it is crossed through. It's up all the way to the 50 in the RSI right there. But yeah, just a little bit of pullback. And again, see if you can catch the good prices right there. Cardano's at 107. And that one just kind of fired way up there like crazy today. So obviously it went bottom to top today, Cardano. So Cardano went wild. Doge, like I said, is right around 23 cents right there. And that one looks much better. It was way down. So Let's see if Doge is looking much better. It was hitting the 200. There you go. It's still just about hitting the 200 and trying to, it did cross through. So Doge is looking good. And I know like Bonk looks good. There's so many. I mean, everything basically looks way better now. So even that WIF, I know the one that Laptop Travel's wife used to like, that was up a little bit today. And let's see, yeah, Bonk is curling up right there, looking much better. So all of them looking better. Sheeb, all of them. So there you go. That's what we're looking at with our crypto. And yeah, it's Bitcoin's at 93,276 right there. So there you go with your crypto report. And yeah, we're looking great. I'll even tell you what the ETF 500's at. Hold on, give me 1 second. And it's at 6.3 million market cap, so we already know where it's at. It's at 0.006. And again, like I said the other day, it was way down, it was way up today. And like I told you guys, if you want that rigged is on, you guys can buy it up. It's basically like a brand new coin again, and it could get cruising. So again, keep an eye on it. Well, buy it up, trade it safe, lock in some profits. You know, I'm not pulling the rug. And if you get some, and then these guys can, we get it all run up as a little team here. You guys will make bank. I'm telling you, because you can get a ton of coins for like $100 right now. Like it's crazy when you make a coin, you can get them like super cheap. So check it out and we'll try to run it. And like I said, you know you're gonna make a ton of money. Yeah, you saw I have well over 1 million coins in ETF 500. So I told you I was buying it while it was down there. I was just slowly buying it, just getting some. And yeah, I hit way over. Well, I accumulated over 1 million today, and I kept buying some more. So I'm over to 1.1, maybe even 1.2. I forget where I'm at, to be honest, but I definitely have some. And my buddy has like over 7 million coins. So there you go. That thing starts rolling. It's gonna be payday. I'm telling you, it's going to. You can obviously see what's gonna happen. And again, if you guys want to make that rig to run up, we can definitely do that too and have fun with that as well. So there you go. I was just messing around seeing if it worked and it still did. I was like, that's a perfect name, honestly. We should mess with it as a little community. And obviously know that the rug can't get pulled, try to make some money, lock in profits, and then move them in the ETF 500 where you can even make more money. So that's the name of the game and what we're all about here. But let's get through our we'll go through our SPY, our big caps. I'll see what else you guys want to see here, and then we'll wrap it up for a Sunday night and let you guys enjoy your evening. And obviously, we'll be back at 7 a.m. for our pre-market, and we'll be rocking and rolling. I feel like things are going to be looking good tomorrow. People are kind of excited about this crypto news, and you know that usually makes the market bounce too. So here we go. Let's keep an eye and see what's going on here with our big cappers. That SPY did jump up on Friday. And like I said, that market did close green. I wasn't completely convinced, obviously, because they weren't completely curling up. And again, we'll keep an eye on it tomorrow morning, see how these open at 7 a.m. and which direction they want to go. They do look like they want to curl up. Obviously, they could jump around for a few days and then really get cruising. So we definitely want to know, if they're getting curled up, if they're bouncing, if there's going to pull back any bit anymore to get a better price. So we'll get them really under control because these things could really start popping off. And honestly, I thought like Amazon was looking good. Apple looks like it's going to try to roll off that MACD. That one was already crossed over, and you know that they like to stay up there. And like I said, Amazon last week, we kind of liked it. It was starting to get set up. I know it was running up there Friday, but I think that one's already bottomed out here. So I think Amazon might be a good opportunity and a really good one to look. Obviously, Apple's crawling up there, but Amazon looks like it's kind of setting up right here to get moving. And let's look at Google because that one looked like it was trying to get set up as well. And I think Google bottomed out. It actually got into the basement, guys. And Google doesn't really like the basement a whole lot. It usually comes out and runs up pretty well. So it did. It's at 172. What it cut down to 168 for Google. And it was just all the way up at like 208. So Google looks like it wants to run. Meta's been a beast, guys. You guys know that. It's going to curl back up and get moving. You guys know Meta is obviously going to move, and Zuck has some crazy stuff going on. I don't know what the hell he's up to, but he's definitely got some crazy shit going on, and it's just going to move. And that Microsoft is looking much better. We'll see if it actually can get curled up, because if it can, it could really get through that MACD and go cruising. So we'll keep our eye on Microsoft. And let's see what Nvidia is up to here. And that one looks like it's trying to bounce off. At least it was trying to on Friday. I'm not completely convinced, but you know what? It was crossed over coming through, and you know that they are the only ones that can really cross up easily the first time. So maybe it does cross up real hard and curl up real hard and try to move. We'll obviously look at Nvidia in the morning, and Tesla was up $11, and I think Tesla, like I said, Tesla hit like 3 or 4 times. So that one is looking much better, and we'll keep an eye on good old Tesla to see if it really wants to get cruising, because that could be a great one. AMC was up 8 cents, and that looks like it actually wants to roll off the MACD and get cruising. So maybe this is going to be the start of something crazy right here. GME, good old GME. GameStop looks like it is going to crawl through on a really quick curl up and get cruising. So keep an eye on GameStop. That does look good. I just happened to click on that me, and that looks pretty good. Still in the basement trying to get set up. That 23andMe, we were talking about it before. And Unity, that letter U, that one's down. That one looks like it might be pulling back a hair, but we'll see. It might get caught up on the MACD probably. And good old Chewy here, CHWI, was up $1.13, and that's making a big old curl up and looks pretty good. So maybe Roaring Kitty's getting right back into it, because Chewy's looking really good right there. I'd keep an eye on that one. That looks good. And good old Netflix actually came up and popped back up. Doesn't look perfect, but again, it might try to get set back up tomorrow and get moving again. We'll see if it does. And that's NFLX, good old Netflix, and AVGO. That moved up $1, and we'll see. I don't think these were totally ready, these semiconductors, but we'll take a look at them tomorrow. They could be getting really curled up here if the market's green and wants to really drag them up. They will start to move. MU was up $1.81, and again trying to make that sharp turn up. It was pulling back, but trying to curl up. They do have earnings coming up this week, it looks like, so we'll have to look at that when their earnings. March 20th at the end. They're in like 2 weeks. So that's MU, but we'll keep an eye. Like I said, these semiconductors aren't showing me that they could have bottomed out, and then they're going to get set up this week. So we will keep an eye on them. TSM, same thing. Looks like it could have bottomed out there. SMCI, same kind of thing. Curled through, coming down. They had their earnings. It could try to get curled back up. We'll look at it. And good old AMD. Let's look at that one, because that was trying to get curled up. And I think this one's setting up, guys. AMD. So we will keep an eye on good old AMD, because it's looking pretty good right there. So I would say keep an eye on AMD. That one could easily get set up and bounce right there. So I'll watch that one. QCOM, that one was trying to bounce back up there, I remember. But again, I'm not so sure, because these things are we're not sure if that pattern's going to stay. If it does, this one's not going to be ready, and they're going to get set up this week. And yeah, they'll be bouncing around for sure. There will be some poppers and things setting up, but not all of them will be crossing through immediately. So we'll definitely be monitoring them and keeping an eye and letting you know what they look like. And Intel INTC up 64 cents. This one looks like it was trying to roll off that MACD again. So it's right there where it tried to pull itself down, but it could easily pull itself back up. How I tell you that, and that one could get moving. And good old PayPal looks like it could have bottomed out down there. It was pulling back last week. Well, basically everything was. But another one, it crawled up once. Maybe it's its bottom. I don't know. We're gonna have to see how some of these open up tomorrow. We'll have a better idea. Good old Snowflake. That one's trying to get crawled up. And another one, I'm not so convinced that they're just ready. And again, these things could try to curl up one time, pull back, and then go up by the end of the week. So they could do all that in a week right here if they really want to. So we'll be keeping an eye on them. And like I said, you're gonna have some poppers happening. Dell pulled back, but it's right there. And again, you can't tell. Does it want to pop off that line or pull back right there? Hard to tell. We'll look at it in the morning. And good old PLTR was trying to regain itself. And again, it doesn't look like it's totally ready. So it's going to obviously depend on the market conditions tomorrow. But again, they could curl up, pull back, and just get set up this week. And then towards the end of the week again, get rocking and rolling like they did on this Friday with that whole crypto seminar or whatever the hell they're doing at the White House. So that's PLTR and Sophie here. That's trying to get crawled up. And again, like the same situation, they all look similar. And Mara, this one I believe is going to get running though. Mara's trying to come out of the basement and trying to get moving. And Riot, RIOT, that's curling out of the basement. And again, they still have to curl through and get moving, Mara and Riot. So they could easily hit them lines, pull back, and you could have a little bit of pullback with crypto. It could be a crazy reaction today and still get crazy good pricing. So I hope you didn't chase them up today like crazy and you let them just pull back after that huge reaction. And yeah, you're gonna have to obviously people were had 200 times they knew that thing was going to run. They had futures and stuff like that where they were making 200 million and stuff. It was crazy, like 50-time futures and shit like that. It was nutty. So clearly it will pull back a little bit. But like I said, we'll see how these open up and everything looks in the morning. And good old CLSK, that one's doing the exact same thing as Riot and everybody else. And MicroStrategy, we did talk about it. It is up in the over hours up to like what was it at? Like 270 something or 297. 297 because I can tell on the chart where it was. And so yeah, 297, it's way up in the over hours. So again, these things are going to be looking good. We have to make sure that they're looking great in the morning and they really want to get cruising. And Coinbase we looked at, that was up $7 and they all have that same look. They may break that pattern where they go crossing through the MACD real quick, and then that pattern will be toast. But like I said, it worked out great for us. DJT looks like it wants to curl out of the basement right here and get wild. So you got basically everything getting set back up after all them dips. And like I tell you guys, when you see these big dips like that, they're pretty much intentional for the big whales and the big people to get in at really cheap prices. So exactly like I was saying, people start panicking, and you don't see any panicking around here. It's go buy some more real quick because look at it on a Sunday morning. You look at your account and they're running up like maniacs, and you just load it up on that huge dip, and it was a beauty. So that's why I was telling you guys take advantage of them bad boys because they were definitely beauties, and you could have made good money just today, honestly. Fun. That's in the basement, pulling back, but I would imagine it's going to get fun if everything else is, especially DJT. So maybe it's some good pullback. So it could really get rolling there. And MTN, good old Mountain, that was up $3 finally. Remember, I said this one looked like it finally wanted to run. I think it does finally want to run there. So that one's been down that veil, but finally looking good. It is hitting the line. We'll see if it crosses through tomorrow. It'll be a good test, and we'll see. Good old McDonald's MCD. That one was pulling back to the line right there. Let's see, MCD here. Yeah, I'll look at that tomorrow. A little bit of pullback. It was still over it, so maybe it'll pop back off. and see if it wants to run up. Good old Boeing was trying to set back up. And again, these aren't just perfect, so we're gonna have to see how they look early in the morning tomorrow. Space was kind of pulled back. They had just had their earnings, but actually looks a lot better now to try to get out off the bottom line. Not saying it'll do it tomorrow, but it probably is getting set up there for SPCE. And IBM was down a little bit, and that could, again, they look like they could pull back a little bit more. So it really depends on the market conditions tomorrow and how they want to open. Excuse me. And Disney was up 249, but Disney looks like that wants to keep going up there. So keep an eye on Disney and good old Oxy right here. That one was just in that channel, but I think it's going to try to roll off that MACD OXY. Yeah, it's in that channel. I say Oxy tries to get set up. I thought that and ExxonMobil were trying to get set up last week at the end of the week, and they both look really good right there. So ExxonMobil and Oxy look good. Nike was running up there. It was down a little bit and probably going to get set up to run a little higher. And that DXYZ was just kind of making a base right there. And again, hit the line and just kind of pull back. So we'll see if what that wants to do. And there you go for your big caps, your Mag 7s, your SPY, your crypto, and everybody else. Let me see what else is going on. If anybody else wants to see anything, let me see. Let me see. I don't see anything there. Let me take a look and see what the stories say. Shares cling to hopes for tariff relief. Bitcoin jumps. Euro stocks climb as traders focus on Ukraine. How Wall Street pros are looking at fears over a U.S. economy slowdown. Stock futures rise slightly in overnight trading as investors await tariff updates. And why the February jobs report may push a jittery stock market toward a correction. So, who the hell knows how they're going to open up tomorrow? Like I said, excuse me, I'm not completely convinced that they're like just ready to go flying yet. So we'll see how they look in the morning. I was already looking at the scanner. I think we pretty much have everything. That TRNR you're gonna have to look at. Ford's trying to get set up. Remember, I was telling you that was way at the bottom. We'll keep an eye on it. That Lucid's way down there. Maybe that tries to get set up. That ADTX is way down there now. We'll look at that if it wants to bounce. BTAI, I talked about that, and SOUN. So yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything we're going to see over here. Let me just take a quick look on here, see what's going on, and I'll take a quick look at the stock twits and see what's happening over there. Let me see if anything catches my eye. That BTAI. And I don't see anything there, nothing there. That one's going to run up, but that's already in the top. We're not going to worry about that. That SUNE's down in the basement. TRNR we know about. ACON, that one looks all right, guys. That ACON, a Clarion. Keep an eye on that. They just had some earnings and not looking bad right there. Add that to the list for tomorrow right there. Doesn't look bad. ACON. And let's see what else. That's about it. That's all I really see. AREC. That one is American Resources Corporation. Coking coal. What the hell is that? What the hell's coking coal? It definitely doesn't say cooking coal. It says COKING coal. Coking coal. I've never heard that industry before, but whatever. They're doing coke and coal at the same time. It doesn't sound like a good combination for your body. I'm not gonna lie, but it's trying to crawl up there and hit the 50. And we'll take a look at the old coking coal. It's called American Resource Corporations, AREC. But I looked at, I just happened to look at what it does. It says coking coal. That's really weird. Anyway, look at that coking coal stuff tomorrow and see what that's up to. So yeah, nothing real crazy. And again, I think we're just gonna have to see how it opens up in the morning. Let me see what StockTwits has. It's gonna be all crypto, I'm sure. Cardano, CRO, Mara, H bar, that one's good up. MSTX, IBIT, that I think is another Bitcoin trust. Yep, that one's up. IBIT. MicroStrategy, MSTY is probably the MSTR. Yeah, it's the MSTR option income strategy ETF. That one's up. So these are all up in green in the over hours coin and CPRI. Let's see what that is. And that's Capri Holdings. And that one looks really good, guys. Keep an eye on that CPRI in the morning as well. That looks really nice. What the hell did I just do? Holy shit. I've done this before. Well, CPRI, I would keep an eye on that one and see what that wants to do in the morning because that one could be running up there as a momentum play. So, yeah, there you go. I think we covered everything. I don't see anything else right here. And if we missed anything, just let me know in the morning because we'll be on at 7 a.m. to cover it. And I'll let you guys go enjoy your Sunday evening. Got done. We wrapped up pretty quick, and that's always nice. And I said, watch for crypto to pull back, but what a hell of a bounce today. And it is just the beginning. I'm telling you, things going to be crazy. We knew it. And so, yeah, there you go. And again, if you just want to get into the rigged, go right ahead. I'm not pulling the rug on it. And like I said, you can get a ton of it really, really cheap. And if we get it moving, yeah, you can make some money real easily. So, and then just pop it in the ETF 500 and watch that run up some more. So, there you go, everybody. I would say that's a good market review on a Sunday night. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Laptop Travel for your list. And sorry you couldn't really tune in too much with the iPad. I'll have to look into that. I had no idea you couldn't do that. And the Jolie's Jams, thank you. Doge Mama 9, Profit Logic, Jay Kratz, Louis Rodriguez, Barber, Bong Prechan, Shiki, Creative Genius right there. And let's see, Jared Snyder, how are you? Alicia and Zach, and there's a bunch of other people on today. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out on a Sunday evening. And again, any questions, shoot me a DM. And I won't mess with trolls anymore. I was just kind of having fun, but people just are out of their mind. They don't even know how to have fun with anything. They can't even have a good. The guy thinks that I have two wallets. I mean, he really doesn't even know. You could easily look up what I have. I made two coins. It's so easy. If you looked up the wallet that he showed, you clearly know it wasn't me because it didn't have the two coins I made. So, I mean, people are out of their minds. I'll tell you what. And it just shows you, I just proved to you that you just can't believe what people just post all the time because people are out of their minds. I'm telling you, they're wackos. So, yeah, I just had to cut the ties with that. I tried to be funny and have fun with it, but yeah, people are just weird and have nothing better to do with their lives, I guess. Could you imagine you sat there all day and that's what you wasted your life on? I mean, you're definitely not going to be successful that way. I promise you. You'll be sitting in your mom's basement for the rest of your life if that's your attitude. And so, yeah, while we're over here laughing and having a good time, they're over there like losing their minds about nonsense. And like I said, their research is terrible because it's so easy to look up my wallet. It's been posted multiple times. It's that easy. So yeah, Chic, laptop travel could look it up in 3 seconds, and so could all of you. And these guys act like they know what they're talking about. That's why I had to have some fun with them. But then, like I said, they just get a little out of control and crazy, and we don't really need to deal with that. So I was just trying to have a good time, but it just got crazy. So there you go, and we'll leave the trolls alone for now on, because clearly they just can't have fun with life. They're just a little crazy, I guess. I don't know. Can you? I just can't imagine living my life that miserable and and just living like that. It just must be miserable, honestly. So anyway, I was trying to have fun and literally just be like, yeah, it's all good and high five, whatever, move on with your life. But they just couldn't do it. And so yeah, I obviously had to block them because they were just like loading up my feed with just nonsense. And like I said, I pointed out like five things they posted were completely wrong. And they just kept posting more nonsense. I'm like, you guys don't even know what you're talking about. I love when people don't know what they're talking about. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, it gets annoying. So I guess that's what they try to do. And then you're just like, yeah, whatever, I'm moving on with my life. So anyway, I appreciate everybody that follows because you guys are awesome. We have a great community here. You guys know that. And you guys know you can hit me up, DM me, and ask me anything, and I'll show you it all. I posted how many I had, and that was the funniest thing because there was multiple people that had like over 1 million coins, and then I had bought more. So it jumped up a couple times. So dude couldn't even follow when I was there. It was so easy. I looked on there. I'm like, this is like the dude must be out of his mind, like not very bright because it takes 3 seconds for you to really know which the right coin, what the right wallet is, and you can clearly see I've never sold a coin. So there you go, none of them anyway, and maybe a couple quick meme coins just trading on like a Friday night. That's about it. But there you go. So everybody, that's that for a Sunday night. You enjoy your evening, and we will be back on we'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. is what I was trying to say, and obviously go through our laptop lowdowns, our Jolie's jumpers, and our crypto and everything else. So there you go, everybody. Appreciate it again. All information presented here is for educational, informational purpose only, not intended as financial advice. Always do your due diligence. Have a great night, everybody, and I'll catch you guys at 7 a.m.